Hey guys, it's Quickie Baby, and today Heavy MN from the North American server is going to show us an amazing replay in the Waffentrager auf Panzer IV. This has been one of my favorite replays I have seen in a long time. He's playing on Lakeville. This is a fairly standard kind of setup for a fantastic long-range tank with excellent camo rating. Lovely clean shot there into one of the most dangerous tanks on the enemy team, the 111. Shaving off 620 of its health, that's quite a high roll. Unfortunately, he aimed that shell just a little too high. But with the fantastic rate of fire of the Waffentrager auf Panzer IV, doesn't matter too much. So here he gets the lovely opportunity of shooting at a tier 7 heavy tank, the Tiger, with 1,400 hit points. When a Waffentrager auf Panzer IV shoots at a Tiger, it basically gets all of its health for free. Fortunately for him, his shell went a little low. One thing that I've been noticing is recently I've purchased the Waffentrager auf E100. And I would not be taking these blind shots in the E100 like I did with the Panzer IV. With the Panzer IV, you can shoot, and because you don't have an autoloader, it doesn't really matter if you miss. Wow. Kablamo, that IS-3 just got one shot. Straight through the side of that IS-3. Flush shot into the side, and ammo racked for 1,500 hit points. Next, this Chaffee is in the wrong place at the wrong time. Interestingly, Heavy MN didn't get spotted for quite a while until the Chaffee was really close to him. By that point, it was too late, and the 560 alpha damage on the Waffentrager auf Panzer IV is more than capable of taking out that very, very, very nice tier 5 American light tank in one hit. Now he's getting his second chance at this 111. This time he takes it. And that 111 is also a very dangerous tank, and I will have a quick tank review on the 111 coming up very soon. It's been one of the best tanks I have played recently. I'm very excited about that review. So here we can see just how accurate the Panzer IV can be, putting round after round into very important targets. I mean, these are tier 9 heavy tanks that he's shooting, and it's unbelievable, but we are just over 3 minutes into the game, and Heavy Man has pulled off 6,200 damage. This is a dream scenario for the Waffentrager auf Panzer IV. And it's so easy to say, oh, he's just pulled off 6,200 damage. This is simply baffling. Fair enough that ammo rack on the IS-3 was a quarter of it, but even without that ammo rack on the IS-3, he's still at 4,700 damage, which would still be huge. So, even though Heavy has pulled off 6,200 damage, his team doesn't seem to be thriving. They lost 3 tanks down the Western Pass, and now there's a lone T-28 prototype likely being held back by an Panzer. His STA-1 just rushed down the middle, found those tank destroyers that like to camp on the opposite side. It's almost like a mirror match this, where you have tank destroyers camping here and tank destroyers camping here. That meant that the STA-1 didn't last very long. And his platoon mate, I'm having to look at this one, Anti-O Tank OMN. I guess that's Anti-Tank Man, probably. I guess the MN stands for man. So we've got Heavy Man and Anti-Tank Man. Cool. I like it. Bit of synergy there with their names. They're obviously the best of buddies. So, Heavy Man here, or Heavy MN, I must apologize if it's not man, but I do like the idea of calling you Heavy Man, so I'm going to just go with it. Realizes that while that position did really, really, really well for him for the first 3 minutes of the game, for the next 2 minutes it didn't yield any results. and his team have lost the town, and they're proceeding to put pressure on the cap as this is an encounter battle. He's got backup in the form of an Object 704, and those are two very scary tanks, a Waffentrager auf Panzerfahr and an Object 704. Pushing down towards you, that's really not very good. Heavy MN seems very focused here. Look at this tunnel vision. He had a kill on the E75 there, but he's very much focused on the cap. Still, when the cap is at 65, it is definitely worth coming in. And a lovely cheeky shot there into that WZ-120, another very valuable target. Heavy man now looks behind him, looking for if that E75 would be coming from behind. But luckily for him, he was taken out as he was interrupting the gap circle. Now Heavy MN sees that there is another lovely opportunity for him. T-28 prototype at 440 meters. With his camo net activated, there's absolutely no chance that he's going to be spotted by these two, even if he keeps firing. That's a great shot there into the Borsig. And check out this rate of fire with this 128mm. Takes him down. What a result. He sees the last known position of the T-28 prototype and looks for the next shot. And for a moment there, it was 1 versus 6. After the kill on the Borsig, means that it's 1 versus 5. So that makes Heavy in contention for the Kolobanov's medal. Now he's on, well, pretty much full health, apart from taking, I think, 1 shot from the Chaffee. He's done 8,300 damage. Now I like his play here. He's got more than enough time to work with. Very likely that T-28 is still trundling down the western swampy... Well, it's not really a swamp, but the ground resistance down the western pass is pretty brutal. That means that it takes a very long time for any tank to get down there, let alone one of the slowest tanks in the game, the T-28, to trundle their way down the western pass. So he wants to take on the prototype, the T-28 prototype. He spots it. Tried to hit the cheeks of the T-28 prototype, but was unsuccessful. Now he's going to try and slam another shell through. Misses and hits the building, and I don't like his positioning here with the artillery. Bit unfortunate for him there. Now the T-28 prototype sees that he's running away and comes to take a cheeky shot at him. He gets spotted again. And... ouch. Simple devastation there from the artillery, slamming a shell right onto his gun shield. Shaving off, albeit all of his health. It's a brilliant shot there by the artillery. And that definitely changed the outlook of this game. Heavy man gets spotted again. Probably doesn't want to get shot in the open by the artillery. And because the WZ-120 was spotted there, he should be thinking that either the T-28 has managed to make it into the cap circle, or an artillery has made it into the cap circle. And a lucky miss there. GW Panther slammed his shell into the ground, which allows him to finish him off, making it now a 1 versus 4. A WZ-120 reappears. Heavy fires a clutch shot. Gets spotted for it, I believe. I don't think he would have been spotted if he hadn't fired that shot. But he has a lot of pressure on him now. And when you've been reduced to 25 health in the Waffentrager, especially the Auf Panzerfahr, you're a very light tank as well. Even the artillery could ram him to death right now if it hits him at, say, 10 kilometers an hour. That means that he literally can't get rammed. He can't get splashed with HE damage. There's a lot of pressure on him. So it looks like the WZ-120 just wants to cap doesn't want to put pressure on him. Which is lucky, because that allows him to use this bush to get a bit of cover. And he's predicting that someone's going to try and flank him from the south. It's a bit of a Mexican standoff here. I would be rather worried about the artillery, because it's that artillery, the one that's still alive is the one that plugged him for like 1,400 health. Be thinking about... I don't know. Arguably, in my opinion, it would have been better to be forceful with the attack. Oh my god. How did that one miss? And he didn't get spotted. That bush is doing him some excellent work here. And it allows him to take out the T-28 prototype. But he got spotted for that one. Now he's got to be thinking about the artillery. Looks like he's trying to use this to avoid the artillery shell now. But realistically, the artillery only has to splash him. So he wants to get out of there as quickly as he can. So wow, we found out that the T-28 literally spent his whole time trundling along the west and has just made it. And the artillery has actually come for a tank destroyer mode. And oh my word, what a result there. Bit of a misplay by the artillery. And that must have been a sweet revenge shot. A sweet revenge shot for when that artillery absolutely blasted him for all of his health. Right in a situation where he needed that health to be able to carry the game. Now T-28 decided to try and come around the corner, but then abandoned his plan. And I like this position. I like this position right here, waiting for that T-28 prototype, and it allows him to get a clean shot off. It wasn't the highest roll. He would have definitely preferred to roll a little higher than that. With 560 alpha damage. The Waffentrager Panzerfear could have shaved over half health off that T-28, but it wasn't a bad roll. Puts him over 10,000 damage. Now he's just got to try and interrupt the... wow, the T-28 is totally tunnel visioning. Panicking to hell. Oh my word, Heavy Man didn't really use his turret effectively there. He could have come around the corner and be ready to shoot. He manages to nearly put one into the T-28 prototype, but not quite. So not the prototype, sorry, the regular T-28. Now he's trying to use these archways to spot his opponents. Can't quite see them. Spots the WZ-120. Fires at him from the bush, unspotted. And he rolls high. He rolls really high, but leaves him on 25 health. Now he's looking after this corner. And now it's just getting real. He's at 10,599 damage that we've seen. Puts a huge shot into the T-28 prototype there for 552. Oh no, I did not see that happening. That poor gentleman. I felt absolutely painful there, Heavy, and I bet that was an absolute surprise to everyone. Unfortunately for him, with the way that the spotting works on the Waffentrager, as he reversed round that corner, WZ-120 was waiting for it. He obviously spotted his tracks and put a shot into him. All he had to do was to splash an HE shell, taking him out the game just before Heavy would have been able to take out his dastardly WZ-120. Now this was an absolute heartbreak. I don't know, just all the heartbreaks that I have, I consider, oh, this was such a heartbreak. But when Heavy MN has a heartbreak like this, it really puts things into perspective. 11,100 damage, fighting a 1 versus 6 at the end, reducing both of the tanks to 2%. Thank you so much for this replay. You managed to keep the fight at long range for as long as possible, and even when you're outnumbered in a 1 versus 6, which is quite hard to pull off in such a lightly armored tank, you gave it an absolutely heroic go. Let's take a quick look at the post-game stats. So Heavy managed to net 182,000 credits for that game, as well as 2,674 experience for his loss, picking up the Radley Walters, a high caliber, and a Defender medal. Heavy did over 12 times the damage as the next guy on his team, and he did over 2 times the damage as the rest of his team combined. I don't know quite what to say with those kind of results. It really sucks. We really saw what the Waffentrager auf Panzerfahr can do if it's allowed to continuously fire at long ranges while it's not spotted. Heavy managed to do this twice, initially at the beginning, and second, very important engagement was against that Waffentrager and the T-28 prototype at range. From there he showed you the great camouflage on this tank, be able to whittle down 6 opponents to only 2, and those 2 are on such low health. We also saw just how bad the armor is on this tank. It took 3 hits, and one of those hits was from an artillery that shaved off literally like 90% of his health. It's a glass cannon of a tank, but in the right hands it really can shine. Now I finished my grind in the Waffentrager auf Panzerfahr, and I had some okay games, but not once did I have a round like this. Thank you so much to you, Heavy, for submitting this on the replays portal. I really enjoyed it. It's one of the best games I've seen in a while, and I'm sure that everyone who watches this replay will feel your pain. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. If you did, please consider rating it down below. I'd really appreciate it. And let me know what you think about the Waffentrager. Do you think the tank is overpowered, or do you think the fact that it's got such low armor sort of makes up for it? Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.